All right, welcome to the Chicago Blackhawks 2019-20 Shotgun Season Preview. Let's start right away with last year's stats. They finished with 84 points overall, 6th in their division, 20th overall, 8th on offense, 30th on defense, 15th on the power play. At home, they were terrific. On the road, not so much. And the penalty kill was 31st, by far the worst in the league. When it comes to the GM, Stan Bowman, he could be on a hot seat at the end of this season if the Hawks, if they're more than a 5-6 point spread from making a playoff spot. It's possible he could be going out the door. Now, he did make some improvements, but let's talk about some of the key departures in Artem Anisimov, Dominic Cahoon, Henry Yoshihiro, Gustav Forsling, John Hayden, Cam Ward, Chris Kunitz, Marcus Kruger. Now, some of the guys he's added, starting with the forwards. We've got Andrew Shaw, who's going to fit probably nicely in that as a third-line center. Zach Smith from Ottawa, who will probably fit in that fourth-line center spot. There's Anton Whedon. There's Ryan Carpenter, formerly the Vegas Golden Knights, who will fit nicely on that fourth line. He'll be great for the PK as well. On the defensive side, of course, we've got Oli Mata from the Pittsburgh Penguins, Calvin DeHaan, formerly of the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, he's going to be injured to start the season for about a month or so because of a shoulder injury. And then, of course, in net, we have Robin Lehner. So already this gives Colton, the coach, something more to work with. Obviously, the team was horrible the first half or so of the season. John Quenneville was fired sometime in late November, I want to say. Colton came aboard, and they still stank for a while. But he seemed to turn them around in the last, I want to say, 30-ish or so games. They were one of the top 5 teams in the league. So this is giving their fans hope that, hey, maybe they can make the playoffs because they've missed the last couple of seasons. Maybe with this little bit of extra time under the belt with the players and some of the new additions, their coach can, turn this club into at least a playoff maker, not a breaker. So I think some of the biggest things now, their penalty kill was just god awful. And players like Carpenter, who I've mentioned already, Oli Mata and Calvin DeHaan, who are both stay-at-home defensemen, can really help in that aspect. And then goaltending, Robin Lehner is definitely an upgrade over Cam Ward, who's retired. It's really about Corey Crawford, though, who's in his last season as a goaltender. He's had a couple concussions in the last year and a half. Is he going to last the entire season? I would think these guys would be platooning between each other. If Crawford goes down, Colin DeLila will step in. But when it comes to Robin Lehner, is he going to be able to put up the same numbers in Chicago behind a lesser defense and defensive system? He's not behind Barry Trotz and that great goaltending coach, who I can't think of at this moment, who also used to be working for the Capitals as well. His security blanket's kind of gone. So now the GM tried to address that with a couple of veteran stay-at-home defensemen, but I don't know. They're still better in net. The question just is, how is this all going to gel? Now, and then when it comes to the offense, Alexander Nylander is a complete wild card. I don't know how he's going to do. And then there was like 3 players on the forward group who had career years. Can those players do it again? Talking about Taves, Kane, Strome, and DeBrincat. Is DeBrincat going to score another 40, 41 goals? Probably not, I would think. It's possible. Probably not. Strome this is his first year that he had a breakout season. Had I want to say 50 points in 52 games, 53 games, something crazy like that. Can he keep that up? Or might he take a step back? So, I mean, Chicago doesn't have a problem with offense. Will this defense, take care of itself? Their bottom 6 is a little suspect, at least offensively. Now, they also have some kids. They got a lot of great kids. Bowman's done a good job of restocking the pile, and they got really lucky last summer too because they moved up from 10th or 12th to 3rd in the draft pick rankings, and they drafted Kirby Duck number 3 overall. Big, fast center who could see some work with the big boys at some point or another, maybe the last half of the season after they see what they have. Adam Boatfist on defense, he could see some time, especially to start if Calvin DeHaan is injured. We'll see how that goes. And there's some other kids here, like I'm talking about wingers Dominik Kubalik, Alexi Sarella. One's 24, one's 22. Maybe those guys will see a few cups of coffee as well. When it comes to their cap hits and their UFAs, RFAs, Chicago has got just under $2.5 million in cap space at the moment. Leaves them a little bit of wiggle room, more than half the teams, I want to say almost. On the forwards, when it comes to, they've got no UFAs, but they do have 4 RFAs, and that could be a bit of a problem next year because starting with Drake Kagula, I mean, he's only making 1.5. He's got arbitration rights. That's a depth forward, though. There's Brendan Perlini, who's going to be an RFA, and then more importantly, Dylan Strome and Alex DeBrincat. They're making under $1 million for both of them. They're still on their entry-level contracts. If they do really well this season, yeah, they're going to have to move some guys out in order to fit them, especially now that they're the future and what all the expensive RFAs signed for this past season. Now on defense, there's one UFA, and that'll be it's currently 27-year-old Eric Gustafsson, who's on that first line with Duncan Keith. Now he's great on offense. I'm going to say he had 50, 60 points, but on defense, he's very, very questionable. I don't know if he improves or if this is just the type of player he is. And then that's about it. They have one more RFA and Slater I can't say that. I'm sorry. But in any case, he's a depth guy. And then both goalies, Crawford, who's making $6 million, his contract will be up as well as Robin Lehner at $5 million. You could see them, obviously, Delia could stay on. They'll save some money in that aspect. So that'll be at least $6 million with Crawford out the door. Who knows if they re-sign Lehner and at what price. So that may or may not give them some more money. We shall see. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about how you think this team is going to do down in the section down below. When it comes to my guess on where I think they're going to finish, the Central is one of the toughest divisions in the league. I just don't see them finishing higher than 5th. There's no way. At the same time, I don't see them finishing any lower than 6th. I think the Minnesota Wild has got that bottom spot there. And when it comes to the playoffs, they're a borderline team. If everything goes correct, if they vastly improve their penalty kill, their goal and their goaltending, and they can relatively keep up with the goal scoring that they had before, so you're saying there's a chance. That's about it. But I think they barely miss the playoffs. I think they'll improve, but that's just my guess. Thank you so much for watching. Hit like if you like this video. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And hey, if you happen to have any Hockey Geek friends, please don't feel shy about sharing. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.